What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 9, and as we are rounding off the calendar year of 2022 against Leeds, Bournemouth and Palace, we look at the table and we're sat in 11th, 21 points, second highest scorers, but the worst defence in the league. We've leaked 37 goals and haven't been able to keep a clean sheet yet this season. Now, obviously, there are many factors here. We've got we aren't the best defensively. I'm perhaps not the best at the game. Playing against Ultimate AI is, if they get one chance, one sniff, they usually score. So keeping a clean sheet is, at the moment, it's impossible, but that is my challenge. That's what the board want me to do. They want me to keep multiple clean sheets. I think one of the tasks they want me to do is keep 3 clean sheets in a row away from home. Yeah, okay. Well, we need to try and just keep one home or away this season. But going into the first game, it's Leeds away, Ellen Road. Never going to be easy. They sit 17th, so they're struggling a little bit. Only won 4 games so far this season. You would have noticed as well, I love the cutscenes that they have pre-game where, it was of this Leeds Forest game from whenever, a season ago, whatever, and it had rivalry, it had fights, it had goals. It was class. I loved it, actually, to be honest. It looked really cool. Would have liked to have been a part of that game. But yeah, I love those little additions that EA are adding to this game slowly but surely. You would have seen Leeds would take an early lead. Clean sheet not happening today. Rodrigo, the Spaniard, clinical from the edge of the box, 1-0. Brennan Johnson would make it 1-1 though. Just about 12 minutes later, a bar and in finish from the Welshman. He's massively impressed me. I was worried that he may not be able to make the step up into the Premier League, but he has led this team along with Awoniyi to one of the highest, for us to be one of the highest scoring teams so far. He's almost in double digits in goals and assists. We're not even at the halfway point this season, so they're massively, massively impressed with the Welshman. And I just want to talk about Leeds for a second, actually, because they recently sacked Jesse Marsch, and they haven't appointed a replacement. I think maybe the sacking was a little bit too soon. Marsch has brought in a group of players, a few American Donnies as well, and really to suit his style of play. And now that he's gone, I'm not too sure what they'll do. They, like I said, they haven't appointed a replacement. In the last episode, I talked about Everton sacking Lampard and bringing in Dyche. I think Dyche would have been, a good option for Leeds if they're trying to survive relegation. The same for Southampton as well, who just sacked their manager, but they haven't appointed anyone just yet. We'll see. Only time will tell if they do appoint someone else. Back into the episode, we would go 2-1 down. Tyler Adams, one of those Americans that Marsch brought in, would make it 2-1 with a nice finish, but then Brennan Johnson would make it 2-2. This was a deflected shot. I did try and show it on the replay. I'm not sure if you would have seen it. And this is another feature that I love that EA have added into the game. How many times do you watch a game of football and you see little deflections, little nicks just absolutely elude the goalkeeper and they go in and it's an ugly goal? And I love that they're finally adding that to the game. One thing that I was annoyed about in this game, right at the end, as the clock turned over to 93, there was 3 minutes added on, but as it turned 93, the ref blew full time. Brennan Johnson had the ball and he'd played through Emmanuel Dennis, who would have beaten his man for pace and would have been through 1-on-1 to allow us to give us a chance to win the game. And the refs blowed up for full time. Now, I get it. We've reached the limit of time. But in the last episode alone against Everton, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored. I think there was 3 minutes added on and he scored into the 4th or 5th added on. So sometimes the ref carries on the play, sometimes they don't. I just think I was gutted, man, because I was through 1-on-1 and I heard the whistle. I just thought, yeah, not our day. But we take a point from Ellen Road. Not the worst result in the world. Youngster Oliver Hammond would get a 1-year extension. We want to send him out on loan, get him some game time. Sam Surridge wants some game time, but he's 4th in the pecking order at the moment, behind Awoniyi, Johnson and Emmanuel Dennis as well. So I can't guarantee he's going to get any game time. And maybe Surridge is one of those players we'll look to offload in January. I know he hasn't been here long, but he's just not getting the game time he wants, so maybe someone will look to offload. Ben Farmer as well, the youngster we brought through the academy, we're going to turn him into a cam, which should only take a couple of weeks and make him a box-to-box player. Haven't seen too much, even though he's got a potential to be special tag. I haven't actually seen too much from him in the games that he's played so far. Maybe that's on me, maybe I'm not using him to the best of his abilities. But yeah, we're going to convert into a cam, see what we can do from there. But going into the second game of the episode, and it would be against bottom of the league Bournemouth. 1 win in 18 games for the Cherries sees them plumb last and ripe for the picking. And we had a game against Palace midweek, and I had this in mind, so I actually made 3 changes, as I expected to win this game, and I wanted to have a strong side for Palace away. I brought in McKenna and Bade at the back, and O'Brien in midfield. But as you can see, this would be a tough game. We went 1-0 down. Ryan Christie, the Scot, scoring for Bournemouth. Gibbs White would go down with an injury. He'd stay down, actually, and we had to sub him off. And this was a concern. He picked up a 5-day knock earlier, last episode, and I'm hoping that this one is just a 5-day knock as well. We had to sub him off. Lingard came on. Awoniyi would make it 1-1, scoring off his own rebound. And then Brendan Johnson would make it 2-1 on the stroke of half-time. That was within the limits of injury time in the first half as well. Anthony would make it 2-2 for the Cherries before Jesse Lingard would make it 3-2 in the 78th minute. Emmanuel Dennis assist. He's been really impressive actually off the bench. I've really enjoyed him. But this game just didn't feel right. I didn't feel like I was playing well. I was missing good chances, and I was going to say just this game, but every game seems to be a goal glut, and this one was exactly the same. David Brooks, the Welshman, would score twice in the last 10 minutes to give the Cherries a huge victory at the City Ground. Yes, boos rung round as the south-based side celebrated in the corner. And obviously I was annoyed with the result, but I must talk about David Brooks for a second. And what a story, man. This youngster had a lot of high praises over his performances over the last 3, 4, 5 years. But in September 2021, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, which is a form of cancer. The Welshman thankfully overcame the diagnosis and was given the all clear in May last year, May 2022. And he has since been working his way back to get to full fitness. He did suffer a hamstring injury, I think, which hampered his progress. But Bournemouth manager Gary O'Neill recently came out and said that the winger may return to action in late February, which is just brilliant, honestly. I loved watching this guy play for Bournemouth a few years ago. He was absolutely class, like just genuine talent. And to see that he, hopefully will be making an appearance soon for the first team would just be a great story. So yeah, big love to David Brooks, and it would be class to see him when he's back. I was happy to see the back of him in this game though. Bloody hell, scored twice in the last 10 minutes. We lose to bottom of the table Bournemouth, and that drops us to 13th in the league. And our worst fears were known with Gibbs White. He is out for 3 months, and that's a big blow for us. He's a good player. Lingard has done well coming into the side, but will he be able to keep his good form consistently? Now he's going to be that starting cam. I hope so. We might have to dip our toes into the transfer market in January to get cover in that attacking position, because we now only have Lingard, no one else. I don't really want to drop Johnson in there and have someone else up top. I'd rather keep Johnson up top. So we might have to bring in a cam for cover. But for now, Lingard is going to have to be the man in that position as we enter the third and final game of the episode. It's Crystal Palace away. It's our first game of the second half of the season. If you remember, we beat Palace 3-1 at home, Awoniyi scoring twice and Lodi scoring an absolute worldie. Picked it up from inside his own half, ran 70 yards and put it top corner. And we started off absolutely on fire at Selhurst Park, firing into a 2-3 and then 4-0 lead. Emmanuel Dennis getting his third goal in 6 games. He was in the starting lineup today. We did make 5 changes actually. The whole back 3 changed, and Freuler came in the midfield and Dennis started up top as well. He took his chance, like I said, third goal in 6th game for the former Watford striker, and he would make it 1-0. Lingard, who we just touched upon, who needs to be involved in the goals consistently, he would make it 2-0 inside 20 minutes. And then Mark Gahey, a really unfortunate own goal for the England international, he put it into his own net, and it's 3-0 25 minutes into the game. Taiwo would get his token goal. The league's top scorer would make it 4-0 before half-time. And then, oh God, I just wanted the clean sheet. Honestly, in the second half, I did everything I could to keep a clean sheet. But when you're playing Ultimate AI, it's so tough and it's so difficult. And if they get one chance, you just feel like your heart sinks because you almost know they're going to score. And lo and behold, 73rd minute, Edouard stops us from getting that clean sheet. The elusive clean sheet will come. I'm telling you, it will come, maybe in the new year, in 2023, but we would run out big winners at Selhurst Park. We'd make it a league double over the London-based club. And to enter the new year, we're 10th in the league. It's an incredible first half of the season. Yes, there are negatives, worse defence in the league. We haven't kept a clean sheet, but a lot of positives as well. I think we're second top scorers. We've scored 43 goals in 20 games. It's crazy, really, to think. 27 points. I think we're about 10 or 12 points ahead of the drop. So looking very, very safe. But as we enter this new period, Gibbs White is out. Ryan Yates is still out. Are we going to sell some players? Are we going to bring some players in the January transfer window? Well, do we need defenders? The board want us to bring in 2 North American-based players. Let me know in the comments who you think I should bring in. There's a couple names in mind, but I would love your guys' opinion. But that will be it for today's episode, episode 9. And just like that, we're into the new year already. Next episode will be episode 10. I can't wait to bring it to you. January transfer window opens. But until then, I'll see you later. Peace.